Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're gonna make a really yummy beef stew. This is so perfect for this time of the year when it gets a little chilly at night, and it's even better to have when you have like rolls and stuff to go with it. Like our family, we really like using the Hawaiian rolls. Yeah, they're super yummy. Do you guys like them too? They're so good. So today, don't forget, if you haven't registered yet for the Easter extravaganza, you totally should. All the information is found on their Facebook and their website. Don't forget to check it out, okay? There's gonna be tons of stuff going on, great things for the kids. Like, don't forget to register, okay? You gotta register for that. All right, don't forget to register for this video too. You can do that via the email, online, and other avenues of social media. So let's kind of dive in. So some of the ingredients we need for tonight, here they are. So we're gonna need, for a beef stew, we're gonna need some beef chunks. Now you can get it at the store where it's already like cut for you. That just makes it a little more convenient. But it's just, it even says on the package, like for beef stew. So I was like, oh, perfect, I'll get that. So I got that. We're gonna need some carrots. I got some extra because you guys saw before I have a bunny who really likes carrots. Some parsley. We're gonna use some other spices as well, like smoked paprika. I got in a little thing. Some ginger, and I got a white onion. It's a medium one. It's not too big. We're gonna use most of the whole thing. Some garlic, some green onions to top this with. Got a big bag of potatoes. Yeah. I'm gonna be using beef stock. You guys can use any kind of stock you want or water, but I'm gonna be using beef stock. I'm also gonna be using, and I know that sounds weird, having a beef dish with chicken bouillon, but it just adds a little bit more flavor to it that I really, really like. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for mine. You're welcome to use beef bouillon if you want. We need some tomato paste, bay leaf, and I'm gonna put some peas in mine as well. So let's go wash our hands, okay? And then we wanna make sure that like our carrots are washed and chopped, our potatoes are washed and chopped. We're gonna chop them into equal size. They don't need to be perfect sizes, just kind of like a rough chop because it is a stew. But you do want them to be about 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter or so when you chop them up. We also need to get our onion ready, like we've done in recipes in the past, how we mince it. We make it really tiny, little tiny pieces, as well as our garlic and our ginger. So I'm gonna do all that kind of in fast mode so you guys can take your time and prep all your things and get it all ready before we start cooking, okay? So we gotta do that prep work first. So let's go wash our hands, okay? Okay, so we really have to wash our vegetables really, really good. Remember, these things grow on the ground. And I mean, they're not like, they're rinsed off, but they're not like, cleaned off. So I have, I use a special sponge, just a sponge I only use for vegetables. I don't use it for anything else. I don't use it to clean. I don't use it to wash dishes. Like it's only for vegetables. So I'm gonna use the rough part of it to really kind of get in all the little, like, they call them the potato eyes, all the little like nooks and crannies of the potato. Because remember, these grow on the ground. We don't want to eat dirt. So let's clean them really, really good, okay? Now we want to peel all of our potatoes. You don't have to, but I'm just going to. I'm going to peel both my carrots and my potatoes. Okay friends, now we need to chop up our vegetables and get them ready for later when we put them into our mixture. I also have my crock pot out. This recipe calls for a crock pot, but you could also do it in a pan. You don't have to use a crock pot. It's more convenient if you're gonna be, doing something later, or like me, got homework and stuff to do, get things ready for the studio. So it's convenient for me to use a crock pot because I can set it aside, it's gonna cook on its own, and I don't really have to check it. But you can also do this on the stovetop, and I'll walk you through that process as well. So let's cut these up. Okay guys, now that our potatoes and carrots are nice and cut, I also rinse them off again. It's like a weird thing I do, but it helps take away some of the starch too, so your soup isn't like super thick. It will thicken up naturally on its own because potatoes naturally give off starch, but just, I don't know, I just rinse them off again. That's the thing I do. So what we're gonna go over now is chopping up our garlic, our ginger, and our onion. So I already have peeled, a little weird thing. I already have peeled my garlic, and I stripped off the outside layer, like this is like a bark almost. I stripped off the outside layer of some ginger. You only need a teaspoon, so you don't need a lot. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna chop up my onion like we've done in the past. Hi friends. Okay, so we got our garlic and our onions and our ginger all minced up. We have our potatoes and stuff already. We got our spices and everything laid out. So now what we're gonna do is prep our meat. So we wanna brown it, which will take about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. So what I'm gonna do first is the recipe calls me to add some salt and pepper. There we go. And then I'm gonna add some pepper. I'm over spicing it just a little bit on this side because when it goes in the pan, I'll turn it all around and get it all nice and even, okay? So now I'm going to heat up my pan on medium heat. There we go. Which if you have like the numbers on yours, because mine has the numbers, that'd be a 6. Okay, I'm gonna put in some olive oil. Remember, we don't really have to measure it out. We just wanna be able to coat the bottom with a thin layer so that our meat doesn't stick. See, just a thin layer, nothing too fancy. We'll let that heat up for just 1 second. So now I'm gonna add in my beef chunks, and I wanna make sure that I'm not just throwing them in, because you don't want any oil to splash up on you. That would really suck. So all we're doing is just browning the meat. We're not cooking it all the way through. There we go. Do half at a time. Okay. So I'm gonna flip them over here in a second. See how, yeah, it's just brown. We're not cooking it all the way through. We just want to darken it. Flip those babies over. turn down my heat just a little bit. Okay, now that my beef is just about all the way cooked, getting all nice and yummy, it smells really good, I'm gonna add in my onions. And we want them to be translucent. That seems to be our word of the week lately. Translucent. Where it's almost see-through. I spilled a little. So remember, you want to keep them stirred around. Put it all in there with the beef. We're gonna stir it around. You want the onions to be kind of see-through. Remember the word translucent. Translucent. Almost see-through. So that takes a second. Okay, now that I have them almost translucent, not quite, almost, I'm gonna add in my garlic and ginger. I'm gonna stir that around for about a minute before I add in some of my other ingredients. You can see that your beef is beginning to kind of make the, like a juice or a liquid at the bottom. That's okay, that's what we want. That's gonna help thicken up our stew. Get that nice and stirred around. You can use a spoon, but since I already took out the tongs, I'm just gonna continue so I don't dirty up more dishes. Okay, my onions are almost see-through. Getting my garlic and ginger all around. Guys, it smells so good. Oh my gosh, yum. Ooh, I can get this good. Let me see. See how that guy right here, this little onion piece is almost see-through? That's what we want. Looking good. Okay. Sorry. Now, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of my bouillon. Now you can use whatever flavoring you want. I just happen to like how it tastes with the chicken. I'm gonna add that in there. I'm gonna add in my thyme. I only have dried thyme, but you can use fresh thyme if you want. There we go. 2 bay leaves. Now these I think I have to open. Oh guys, it smells so good. I love the way ingredients smell. Kind of weird. I like it. Oh, I think I need scissors. Okay, we're gonna add 2 bay leaves, and since mine I'm gonna be feeding a lot of people, I'm gonna pick some big ones. So these you'll take out later. You don't need to eat these. They smell good. Okay, 2 bay leaves. Now I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons, remember our bigger one, of tomato paste. 2 tablespoons. And our smoked paprika. I went to the store and I just got what I needed because I don't eat paprika a lot. Da, 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 da. Good. That'll add like a smoky barbecue-y flavor. Okay, now I'm gonna stir this all around before I add in my broth. Now that I have it all stirred in, I'm gonna turn the fire down just a little bit. Nice and stirred in. Kind of has like a reddish brown color. It's really pretty. Now you need at least 2 cups of either water or broth. I will be using beef broth. Beef broth, okay? 2 cups. I'm gonna use the whole thing because this is actually 4 cups because I'm gonna be adding lots of veggies and potatoes. So I'm gonna pour the whole thing in kind of slow because you don't want splashback. That will hurt. So we pour it in kind of slow. All right. Now I'm gonna let this simmer for just a little bit before I transfer mine to a crock pot. So I'm gonna let this cook for just a little bit, about 5 minutes, before I transfer it to a crock pot. Now, if you wanna continue using the same pan, you're more than welcome to. The recipe calls for a crock pot, so that's what I'm gonna use, but you can just continue using the same pan. So if you're gonna use the same pan, you're gonna add in your veggies and let that cook for at least an hour and a half. If you're using the crock pot, it's gonna take about 3 to 6 hours depending on your temperature. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that fuse together and cook together for about 5 minutes. Hi guys. Okay, while I have that simmering, I'm gonna prep my crock pot. Now I already rinsed it out, even though if you wash it, or it sits on a shelf, whatever, it's always good to rinse things off just in case we have weird things we breathe in. So just to be safe, always rinse out anything that you use, even though you've washed it before. So I rinsed this out already. I'm gonna put in the rest of my broth because you want it to cover your potatoes. Remember, potatoes are starchy and they soak in all that water and they soak in all that juice up. And so that's what helps create it being a little thicker. So I'm gonna pour that in after I pour in my cut veggies. Remember how we cut them earlier? Okay. Now I'm gonna put in my peas. Make sure that you drain them so there's no like liquid hanging out in there. There we go. Ta-da. Okay. Mix that around so it's kind of nice and even. All right, I'm gonna pour this in. Okay, now I'm going to add in my stew mixture that I already started on the stove. Right. You want to make sure that you wear gloves or oven mitts so that you don't burn yourself. And remember, you want to pour it in slowly so you don't get splashback and it gets you. You don't want that. Turn off your fire. Whoa, this looks so good. Okay, pour it nice and slow away from you. I'm gonna go get my tongs. Scoop out all the rest. Remember, you can use a spoon. I already dirtied one thing. I wasn't gonna dirty up some more. All right, kind of evenly spread that around. Oh my gosh, guys, it looks so good. Okay, if you are using your pan on the stove to finish cooking and you put in all your vegetables and you made sure that it's covered, where everything's covered, you want to let that simmer on low heat for about an hour and a half. If you are using a crock pot, if you're turning it on high, it will take about 3 hours. If you're turning it on low, it takes 6 hours. So in between time, let's get the dishes done. So I got my crock pot going. Yeah. Clip her in. And I'm turning it on high. So, time for dishes. Hey guys, okay, so I have let my stew sit or cook. I guess it sits too. In the crock pot for 3 hours. Now, if you did it on the stove, only an hour and a half, and if you have your heat on low, then you're gonna have it for 6 hours. Like if you gotta go to work or school or whatever. So now it's time to taste test. I'm so excited. So I periodically would stir my stew just to make sure everything gets coated evenly. Now you can add parsley and onions that I'm gonna do when it's time to eat dinner. Careful, it's hot. Ooh, oh my gosh. Ah. Set that down safely. Okay. Oh man, it smells so good. Now remember, we don't eat the bay leaf. So we want to take out the bay leaf. I have 2 in here. I gotta find the second one. Remember these? Yeah, we don't eat those. Okay? It's not gonna hurt you or anything like that, but just, it's like awkward to eat a leaf. Take that aside. Stir it all around. Oh my gosh, guys, this looks good. It smells good. It thickened up a little bit, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. Looks like I got yummy carrots in here, all nice and tender. Oh my gosh, do you guys see that steam? Amazing. It looks so good. All right, I want to taste test, but I'm like scared it's gonna be too hot. Test it with my finger first. Still too hot. So while I wait for that to cool for a second, don't forget to send us your videos and your photos. We are so excited that you guys have been learning all these videos and cooking and being just amazing in the kitchen. Don't forget to check out our Rockin' Disabilities website. They have so many activities going on, so many things for you guys, like, you know, help us out, volunteer, sign up for some good stuff, enjoy the activities we have going on, and we're super excited. All right, let's taste test, yeah? Oh my gosh. Guys, this is really good. I hope yours taste just as amazing as mine. Don't forget, the more videos that you send us, the more we can put out there of how amazing you guys are doing. We're so proud of you. And I'll see you guys again next time, okay? Bye. So good. Bye.